Okay, welcome this morning to our morning learning session. The presentation. We're going to be doing a bit of discussion on Tom's new book. Tom and I have known each other quite a long time. I remember a long time ago, actually, just a little story. Actually, I've got a friend, and Tom will remember him, a guy called Danny. He's Welsh. He's a Welsh policeman, and he must be 6'4" or 6'5", something like that. He's very, very tall anyway. And we're in a bar in a hotel. I think it was in Manchester. And Danny came up to me, says, "Great, hi, how are you?" and all that sort of thing. And he said, "I'm looking for Big Al, and I can't see him anywhere." And I said, "You were sitting next to him." And he said, "Oh, I was expecting somebody bigger than me." So that was really funny, that was. And I introduced him to Tom, and that was many years ago. And it's since then I've known him, and we've had many Mexican dinners in the UK, because Tom likes his Mexican. So we've had a few meals in our time. So Tom Big Al Schreiter, that's his nickname, Big Al, has 46 years experience in network marketing and MLM. He's the author of the original Big Al training books, and that was in the late 1970s. He's continued to speak in over 90 countries on using the exact words and phrases to get prospects to open up their minds and say yes. Anyone can receive free weekly tips, etc., from bigalbooks.com if you go there. If you need more leads, want better prospects, curious on what steps to teach your distributors to be leaders, want to know how to build a bigger downline, desire to be a better closer, want to build instant rapport, want to be more successful in MLM and network marketing, or just want to be a better networker, Tom Big Al Schreiter gives you the step-by-step exact words to say and exactly what to do. As the author of numerous audio trainings, Tom is a favorite speaker, trainer at company conventions and regional events, and he's spoken at many events for different companies I've worked in. And again, I say that, the most important thing about this is the people, the community. The companies come and go, but if you keep a community together, it's amazing what things you can do. And that's what we have, a fantastic community of leaders. And we're going to make it really big wherever we go. So, Tom, without further ado, I'd like to invite you to talk.
All right. So for everybody here at 8 o'clock UK time in the morning, we're probably either a leader or definitely on our way to becoming a leader. And if everybody here would like to be in the top 1%, let me show you a way to do it. Now, if you're born into power, your parents were prime minister of the country, or famous athletes, or you have a huge social following who worships the ground you walk on, or tremendous connections, it's pretty easy to get to the top 1%. Most of us were not born in that way. But here's the good news. If you want to be in the top 1%, it's not very hard, because the other 99% aren't trying. It's like running a race where nobody even shows up to the starting line. So you don't have to beat very many people to be in the top 1%. So people think you have to have some magical, mystical superpowers, and you don't. So to show you how ordinary people can do this, I grew up on a farm, and the closest town had one grain elevator and 2 houses. That was it. That was the closest city to me. So I spent all the way up to my teenage years talking to cows. So I didn't have any social skills. And I studied engineering, and engineers don't talk to each other. So when I started, I'm a shy, nerdy, personality-free, charisma bypassed, socially challenged engineer who should not be let out in public. Absolutely no skills, no idea about business and the world, or other than maybe being able to balance a checking account. So that's how I started. And I just moved to a city called Chicago, Illinois. I knew nobody. So I didn't start with all the advantages other people had. Some people know how to talk to people or have some social skills or, uh, just are good with people. I wasn't. As a matter of fact, what happened is when I got started, the first thing I did was read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I didn't know there's such things as social skills. Yeah, I thought if somebody made him a mathematical error or a factual error when they're talking, you needed to correct them right away so they'd be straight and narrow. I wasn't endearing myself to anybody. So I had to learn everything from scratch. So if you're sitting here and thinking, gosh, everybody has all these advantages. Well, they may have some advantages, but they're going to fall behind very, very quickly. So the first thing was I showed up. I showed up to every meeting. I showed up to every training, just like we're having right now. And I noticed by just showing up, I was ahead of half the people already. You know how people join and they say, well, I thought it was a lottery ticket. I could just sit at home and do nothing. So just by showing up, we're looking pretty good already. And there's a thing I like to say. I say, if you quit, your chances of failure are at least 50% higher. So just by staying in, we have something going, but that wasn't enough. So I showed up to these meetings with nobody, and I didn't have a clue. I had never even heard the word goals before. So I got started up. We didn't have audios. There wasn't any books about network marketing. Do you remember what came before audios? Was called CDs. Remember those old time CDs? What came before CDs? The actual cassette tapes for personal development. Well, I joined before cassette tapes. That was new technology. I joined where the only thing we had was a record, a little vinyl 45 record that you could play of a guy named Earl Nightingale saying, lead the field, you are what you think. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's what I started with. My sponsor had this record. So I went to the library because I couldn't afford books. But libraries have books and they're free. Later on, after I read all the appropriate books in the library about, how to get along with people or a couple things on business or selling skills, I had to go and, find better books, more about our business. But there wasn't very many back then. But it introduced me to personal development. And they say personal development is everything. And I got to tell you, it's not. You can listen to audios and read books and never do anything with it. And learning something and not doing anything with it is just the same as not learning. But we at least have to know what to do, right? Well, I didn't know what to do, so I desperately needed personal development. And that's how I got hooked on books. And we do a master class every Wednesday for networkers that want to, really stretch out. And in the master class, I said, I got this email. This person says, I will translate it. It roughly said, I'm going to learn how to do this business by scrolling Facebook and watching TikTok. Because I'm sure that's how Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Virgin, all the top business leaders, I bet that's how they learned. And you say, well, that's pretty stupid. When you interview these people, what do they have behind them? A whole library of books. So what happened to Derek and me, when we joined network marketing, we were introduced to books. And that's the best luck we ever had. Now, you're going to say a lot of people don't want to read. They want to avoid books. Well, yeah, you can avoid being successful in this business. It's fine. But that's how Derek and I got addicted to books. And now they have audiobooks where somebody will read it to you. How cool is that? So there's no excuse for somebody not to learn personal development and some basic skills of what to do. Because if you're super motivated, but don't know what to say, it's going to be ugly. So when we start doing personal development, we leave a whole bunch of people behind. And now we're in the top several percent, and we haven't really reached out of our comfort zone very far. So that's how I got started. So if you're sitting here on this call this morning, just congratulate yourself saying, oh man, I'm ahead of so many people already that just don't have a clue. So the personal development was pretty cool. But here's what I noticed. I noticed a lot of people, we had these little groups where we studied a book together, and we didn't have many books those days, so we picked the wrong ones, but at least we were trying. And I noticed that the people that were saying, I got to get my mind right, and I have to have vision boards and dream for the future, a lot of time they just came to our meetings and trainings and discussions just as an excuse so they wouldn't have to talk to people. And I have a friend named Jerry Clark for 30 years, over 30 years. And he said when he got started, he was named a trainer for his company. And he said, every Saturday morning we had a training, and people would come and we do this training on the 4 color personalities. And so when people started, they went to that training so they can go out and talk to people. And he says, I was in charge of doing that training. And I noticed that the second week, some of the same people came back. And I said, oh, maybe they didn't get it the first time. So the next week when he did it, he saw the same people again. He says, well, they must be some slow learners, because the training was exactly the same every Saturday. Later on, he figured out that the people that kept coming were pretending not to understand. They had to come back to learn again, just so they could avoid actually talking to people. So by them saying, well, I'm just not clear on it, I need to go back one more time, was there a way of avoiding talking to people? So now we're going to leave a whole bunch behind, right? Because when you actually have to go out and try something, a lot of people are going to drop out. So I want you to imagine how many people here probably know how to ride a bike. So if you do, can you learn that by listening to audios or reading a book? The first time you get on, we don't have the muscle memory, we don't have the balance, we haven't been doing much. It's not going to end well. So we have to get on, and well, we're not going to be successful the first time, but maybe we just drag our feet along the sides and start to get the hang. We just have to go out and test it. So just like that in network marketing, when you learn a new icebreaker or way of talking to people, you need to go out and test it. And you don't have to be super brave. I'm a full-time coward. So you can actually go and test it with family members or friends without even saying it's about the business. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you want to close people. You say, I'm afraid to close. I don't know what to say. So you learn what to say, right? You say, well, I'm afraid to do it the first time with a prospect. So pick on your children. That's what they're there for, or your grandchildren. Mess with them. So here's the saying. You say, when you want to close somebody, here is one way to do it. You can say, you're going to give them 2 choices. Now, here's what's cool. If they only have 2 choices, it's not very hard to think. Either one or the other, right? So the choice is going to be join our wonderful business or keep your miserable life the same. And you notice that we didn't give them a choice to, I need to think it over or do research. We say, if you want to do all that, that's just keeping your miserable life the same. So the choice is join our business or keep your miserable life. That's the choice. So we learn that as one of the skills. So he said, but I'm afraid to try that with the children or with my prospects, or, well, let's just think about this. So Derek is talking to me about the business, and Derek says, so that's how the business works, Big Al. So what's going to be easier for you? To join the business so you have a extra paycheck, or to continue trying to get by on 1 paycheck? 2 choices, really simple, right? And they say, well, That was pretty easy. There's no rejection because Derek gave me a choice. So Derek doesn't feel bad about it. He says, here's your two choices in life. It's your life, Big Al. Pick it. Do you want to join the business so you have an extra paycheck, or just keep trying to get by on one paycheck? And he said, okay, I'll try that, but maybe I practice it with my children. So you can just practice it with your children. You dinner tonight, you could say to your kids, you can eat your vegetables so you can finish the meal and have a great evening, or you can not eat your vegetables and never have a Wi-Fi password again. He just gave him a choice. And you say, wow, that was pretty easy to do. So we learn something and we start practicing a little bit, just like riding the bicycle. Now, I'm a pilot, but I wasn't born a pilot. And I didn't know anything about it when I first started. So do you think I read a book? Yeah, I read a book. Do you think I went to flight school to learn about all the charts and stuff? Yeah. Do you think I went out and flew my plane the very first time by myself? I don't think so. I took an instructor along with me, like my sponsor, and we practiced quite a bit before I could fly myself. The same in network marketing. Say, okay, I got it. What about swimming? Can you read a book and learn how to swim? So you're going to stand at the edge and get ready to jump in the water, and you're going to have this tremendous fear because you've never practiced it. You never put your head under the water before. You've never tried swimming, just hanging on to the side. You're going to fear it so much you won't do it. And that's what happens to network marketers. They don't test and try. So what makes us the 1% is we start doing some personal development. We read some books or listen to some books. We learn what to do, and then we actually go out and try it. And we can test it pretty safely, just like we did with our children, and say, I could get better at this. Now, if we did all these things, we're going to end up in the top 1%. Because remember, 99% of the people don't even try. Half of them don't even show up to a meeting like this. Half will never read a book. Half will never listen to an audio. A bunch of them will never learn some new skills. A bunch of them will never even try the new skill. So we can be in the top 1%, and we don't have to be talented. So how many people here think you can be in the top 1%? So in the chat, just type in yes or no. Do you think you can be in the 1% just by hanging in there and doing a few simple things over time? Because if we don't quit, here's the good news. Everything we learn just moves us a little bit closer to where we want to be. Every day we add one new person to our list or talk to a stranger to get some repetition, some practice in, we get a little bit better. So it accumulates. It doesn't go backwards. We get better over time. So you can say, I can get better like really, really fast. Or maybe I'll do everything by trial and error and do it really, really slow. The problem with trial and error is, I don't know, would you like to learn to fly a plane with trial and error? Yeah, you don't need to fly one time. That's it. So that's why there's books, there's sponsors, there's trainings. That's why we have these things. We want to take advantage of it. So for everyone here, not quitting, and everything we do every day gets us a little bit closer. So here's what I like to recommend to everybody. Read a book. And you say, well, I'm a slow reader. Well, it might take you longer to read the book, right? That's okay. And you say, well, I can only read 5 minutes a day. Okay. So the book that Derek sent to you all that you can download for free and start reading, and free is well within everybody's budget. called, The Happy Networker, is, I don't know, really easy to read. I think it will probably, if you're just an average reader, it'll take you 90 minutes or an hour and 45 minutes to read the book. You say, well, I'm only going to read 5 minutes a day. All right. So 5 minutes a day would be how many days? Who's good at math here? It's less than 40 days. You say, well, I can only read 3 minutes a day. Okay. It's going to take you 2 months. But we could do it, couldn't we? And here's what I notice. If we start reading 5 minutes, chances are we might read 6 minutes or 7 minutes. It gets over with quicker. And that's how we get addicted to learning new things. Now, I've been in the business, right now, it's over 50 years, and I'm still learning. So I hate it when a new person says, I already know everything, I don't want to come to training. I'm thinking, man, you had a great parents and a great life. I'm still learning how the human mind and stuff works. So for everybody on this call, this book is free, absolutely within your budget. And for all of your networking friends, within their budget, it's free till, I think, August 31st. Start with that. Just like I started with the local library. You don't even have to walk down to your local library. Just download this to your phone and start reading and learning how to do it. Free is pretty good. So with that out of the way, you say, okay, so I got it. You have to show up, do a bunch of personal development, learn some skills, right? So let's learn a skill here that can really help us right away. So I'll show you a little, well, let me ask, how many people here would like to have a real cool brain science tip that creates prospects on demand? All right, got a couple of people. So, I mean, how many people here would just like to know the secret so you don't have to look for prospects? You can just create them out of thin air. Would that be convenient? All right. So here's how this little brain trick works. And as we learn how the subconscious mind works and all this, we get better at this, but this is a really simple one to do. In our business, the easiest way to talk to people is find people with a problem. And does everybody here know at least one person with a problem? And so we're going to give them a choice. Keep the problem or fix it. Remember that closing? So you find people with no money. You say, you want to keep life with no money, or do you want to fix it? Yeah, it's not that hard. So understanding the basics is pretty easy. So how do we create prospects on demand? The best prospects in the world are people that have a problem and want to fix it. You're going to read about that in the book, but they have to actually want to fix it. A lot of people have problems and don't want to fix it. You probably have an aunt like that who says, I complain about everything. Don't fix it because then I wouldn't have anything to complain about. Okay. So if you had somebody in front of you, you're talking to them, and they say, I have this problem, and you and I have a solution, all we have to do is say, here's a solution. You can take it or keep your problem. Network marketing would be so easy, wouldn't it? Rejection free. We just say, hey, my job here is to find people who have a problem and let them know they have a choice. That's it. You say, well, that was pretty easy. But how do I find people with problems? Well, all right. There's plenty of them, but just in case you're lazy, why not just give them one? Makes it a whole lot easier. So here is how the human mind works. Is in conversation, when people are talking, after you say something, they must disagree with you. It's called the principle of disagreement. Let me explain this. Not violently disagree with you, but have to disagree or else there's no point in the conversation. It would be stupid, boring conversations if I said the best place in the world to buy shoes is at this store. And everybody goes, yes, yes, yes. That's not going to happen. what's going to happen? Everybody's going to say, no, this place is better, or this place is better. This one has a better sale or better styles, whatever. There is no conversation unless there is disagreement. Okay. So once we know that, are you ready for the test? Here's the brain science test. See how good you are at brain science. I'm in conversation with somebody and I say, you have a stupid, miserable job. You should join my business. What are they going to say? No, I don't have a stupid, miserable job. I love my job. It's the best job ever. And guess what? I don't have a prospect. So guess how I started my business? I went to everybody and said, you had a stupid, miserable job. You should join my business. Well, how's that going to work out? The answer is zero. I'm an idiot. But I learned this little brain science trick that people love to disagree. Yeah, if you say the best sports team and the best football team in England is Arsenal, do you think everybody's going to nod their head and say, yes, yes, yes? I don't think so. They're going to say, oh, no, Liverpool or Chelsea or Newcastle or I don't know. People disagree. If there's no disagreement, there's no conversation. One person talks, everybody nods. Dumb. So are we all in agreement that people want to disagree? So watch the following conversation. I said, so what do you do for a living? And they say, I'm an engineer. And I say, oh, you're an engineer. That must be boring working with math nerds all day long. That's a bunch of social misfits. It must be terrible being an engineer. What are they going to say? No, I love being an engineer. I get to do high level math. I don't have to bother with people. I love being an engineer. Okay. Now watch the conversation. So what do you do for a living? And the person I'm talking to says, I'm an engineer. And I say, wow, you're an engineer. That's wonderful. That's great. I heard it was a terrific way to make lots and lots of money. In order for them to participate and take control of the conversation, what must they say? It's terrible being an engineer. I hate being an engineer. You never get promoted. You don't get enough vacation time. There's no fun. I'll do almost anything other than be an engineer. Oh, we should talk. You can literally create prospects on demand anytime you want. Anytime you want. Knowing the principle of disagreement. So next person I talk to is a doctor. I say, so what do you do for a living? She says, I'm a doctor. And I say, you're a doctor? That must be terrible being a doctor. Yeah. She said, oh, no, it's wonderful being a doctor. I get to drive a big car. I get to take all the free drugs I can have. And, I love being a doctor. But I asked, what do you do for a living? She says, I'm a doctor. What if I say this? You're a doctor? Wow, that must be wonderful being a doctor. Must be great. I heard it was a terrific way to make lots and lots of money. What's she going to say? No, it's terrible being a doctor. Some people come in and they don't even take a shower first before their physical. I'm around sick people all day long. Everybody complains. I hate being a doctor. I do almost anything other than be a doctor. Oh. And now we know the secret. This is why leaders who learn a little bit, get some skills, are always surrounded with people wanting a change in their life. So when I was a distributor, I said, man, everybody I talk to is not interested. Well, I caused that, idiot. And I said, my sponsor's so lucky. Everybody my sponsor talks to just wants to change and wants new opportunity in their life. He's just lucky he finds good people. No, it's not. We actually can cause this to happen because we have good skills. So it's not about luck. It's how we use our skills to make that difference. So everyone here can practice the principle of disagreement all week long. Just get better at it. You can, do it about any conversation. It doesn't have to be about your business if you're scared. I'm scared about a whole lot of things, but you say in any conversation, they're going to tend to disagree. So knowing that, I can literally create a prospect who's not satisfied with their current income or opportunity like that. And once you have that skill, you have plenty of people to talk to. You say, okay, you're right, so you can keep your life that way, or we could talk about my opportunity. Give them a choice. There's no rejection. They choose their path of life. They might say, oh, no, I don't want to hear about opportunity. I'm a full-time professional loser. I want to fall on a sword, jump off a cliff. Would you help push me? Yeah, I'll help push you. So it's okay. Or they might say, yeah, we should talk. How easy is that? So now we know the secret of why MLM pros have tons of qualified people who have a problem, who want to fix it anytime they have a conversation. And did you notice we didn't start our conversation by saying, I got this wonderful business and opportunity. Let me show it to you now. The name of the company. That's not right. That's not how people want to be talked to. So if you just practice that skill this week, guess what? By the end of 1 week of practicing, it's starting to become more automatic. You become more aware. And you say, I can prepare people before I talk to them about my business in a way that opens up their mind and they're looking for an opportunity. And you're going to read that in the book. I don't know how many people here had a chance to read the book yet, but you're going to read about the 4 ways or 4 steps. There's lots of ways of doing it in the book. We have to get better if we're going to be in the 1%. So I want to encourage everybody here. We don't have to be a superstar. We don't have to be brave. We don't have to be a salesman. We don't have to have thick skin and get rejection. Every one of us can get to the top 1% by just following these little steps. Be consistent, don't quit. Start doing some personal development so we learn stuff, learn some skills, and actually practice them. We're so far ahead of the useless, clueless, lazy competition. It's a no-brainer. It's not crowded at the top at all. And it changes almost immediately as we learn what to say and what to do. So that's what we can practice this week right away. It's just having that conversation with people. And let me give you the exact words. I'll type it in the chat here. No matter what they do for a living, we're going to say the following words. That is wonderful. And then we're going to say, that is great. And then we can say, I heard it was a terrific way to make lots and lots of money. That's it. And then just listen. Will 100% of the people complain? No, but most of them will. People like to participate in conversations, and they do that by disagreeing. So instead of complaining about no prospects or the economy's bad or nobody's interested, instead of being victims, we can actually learn a skill and say, man, why didn't somebody tell us this before? And that is, I'll tell you why somebody didn't tell us this before. Because if we had to learn all the skills before we ever started, we'd probably wait 200 years. So we just start learning them as we go and as we need them. But saying those things, those 3 little sentences, that's wonderful, that's great, I heard it was a terrific way to make lots and lots of money, totally rocks. And when people complain, they're going to make up their mind if they want to fix it or stay where they are. If they want to fix it, here's the next words. we should talk. You say, wow, how'd you think that one up? Or then let's talk. And then you can talk about it, have a nice conversation. Because I'll tell you about prospects. Do they like being on hold on the phone for 2 hours waiting for automated voicemails? Do they like going to a web page with 100 different links and spending forever to try to figure out what their questions and answers are? Do they like watching commercials, like a 10-minute company commercial video? No, they don't want these things. Do they want somebody showing us slides and reading the slides to us like we are reading impaired? No. You know what they want? A conversation. Well, they can ask some questions and we can answer it. So you have to ask yourself, if I'm talking to somebody who wants change in their life, who wants to fix their problem and have a conversation with them, a lot of people are going to say, that's a pretty good time. We can do that right away. So we're going to learn how to talk to people to create immediate prospects. And how many people here could at least put aside 3 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day to read a book? To start learning what to do and what to say? Yeah, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And you might say, oh man, I hate reading. My lips get tired. It's so hard. All right, let's just go slow. There's no rule you have to be super fast. So there it is. Oh, I should put the link here. If you haven't, let me see. I put the link here. It's easy. If you haven't, go to that link, download the book. It's free, and start reading. So with that, let me turn over to Derek here because I've done all the talking. So Derek, should we open up for questions and stuff?
Yeah, sure, I will. Just to say, guys, you know, I'm a product of this, the teachings of Tom, because I've followed him for that many years, and these are skills I use already. I've made it part of my conversation, part of my personality. I do it naturally without thinking. And it's amazing when Tom says things, I'm thinking, I do that. And I'm thinking, how did I learn that? And it's obviously from Tom. So, you know, the important thing here is to appreciate that, you know, we do need to skill up. And the more you get skilled at conversations, the better it is. It's almost impossible to have prospects who've got a problem and you can fix them. It's almost impossible for them to say no. It really is. And I'm finding it too easy sometimes. And it's not because I'm anything special, but I'm a product of learning, and I've learned how to do these skills. So let's hand over to a few people to have a chat. Okay, Anthony, you wanted to say something. Let me just unmute you. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. It's Anthony here from St. Albans. And thank you, Tom, for a wonderful, training here. And Derek for bringing this to us. So for me, I used to be very, very shy before. You know, it was very hard for me to have conversations with people, because I always thought, you know, what are they going to think of what I say, how I say it? So I would always be in the background, and my brother was the forward one. He would be like the more confident person, and he had loads of friends, and I had loads of friends because of him. So I used to be the shadow, you know, and but then again, everyone is to follow him. So whatever he did and what he said, they did, and I used to be a follower. Until I came to this country, and I was left like, what do? I don't have my brother. So I had to learn very quickly, you know, what to do. And I used to replicate what he did. I used to talk about things and just have conversations. And very soon, because I didn't have somebody to fall back on, you know, I was on my own. I had to change. And I just started talking to people, having conversations. And I thought, this is easy. And from there onwards, life started getting better. And you know, things, it's you have to do something to get somewhere. And that is what I did. And now I have conversations easily with anyone, you know. The other thing about I like to be the top 1% of becoming a leader. Now, this is I'm very good at what I do in my job, but on this platform here, which is learning how to earn passive income and multi-level marketing and all that kind of stuff, this is new for me. So what do? I surround myself with great people like Derek, wonderful example. I try every opportunity to have him with me. So I take him with me for meetings and stuff like that. I just learn from the guy. He's so laid back, and the words just flow through, and I just pick up every little thing that I can from him, and I go and I replicate that, and I make it my own. So I've learned so much from you, Derek. So thank you very much. It's always, it's never late to learn anything. Sometimes we're comfortable with the skills that we have learned in doing things, and we say, yeah, this is okay. But no, it's not. There are many things and challenges that come along, and we have to be prepared. And now I've learned something new. I'm learning something new every day. But the most important thing I do is I show up. I turn up. And what I do is I learn as much as I can. And learning is one thing, but I go and I apply. And application is key. You may not get it right. Sometimes you forget things that you have learned, but with practice, you get better. And this is what I do. Once I start getting better and it works for me, I go and share with people. And everyone learns things differently. But it's the fear sometimes that holds us back, and you've got to let that fear go and just go and apply, practice, and do it with a smile. We are normal. We're human beings. Everyone makes mistakes. We all need to learn. We need to start from somewhere. But if you're relaxed and you smile at people, a smile goes a long way. Just a quick hello. Once your smile opens up the gate and you're in there, everything becomes easy. So I'm enjoying this journey, and thank you very much for sharing with us. And I'll hand it over to somebody else. And let's see what others have got to say. Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, Tom, in London. I've got some wonderful places for you to go and visit with Derek and myself, some wonderful Mexican places. So the next time you're in the UK, we've got you fully covered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, who's next? Mana?
Thank you, Al. Big Al. I just love the way you simplify things, because, and I know what I really notice, what I need to do is think about, I ask the question, but I don't, I get the conversation, but sometimes I don't get to the close. So that is very important when you start the conversation and you ask about how's that work, but to always think of closing. And I forget to do that sometimes. So thank you for reminding me that.
Tom, did you want to?
I think Tom is on.
Hold on. Okay, there you go.
All right. So, yeah, good point. We do want to at least close that part of the conversation so we can talk to them about the business. And it's not hard. We have a decision to make when we talk to people. I'll tell you the decision I had to make. A decision was I could continue feeling uncomfortable and afraid of rejection, or fix it so I'd never feel uncomfortable and never get rejected. And I go, that's not a hard choice. So here's how you do it. You say, okay, I will have no agenda. It's okay if they join or not. It's not for everybody. And quite honestly, it's not for everybody. Now, here's what's interesting. If we have the attitude or mindset that my business is for everybody, I just have to convince them to join, do you think they'll pick up those vibes? Absolutely, in a heartbeat. And in one of the books, we explain how they pick up these vibes through microfacial expressions and stuff. But so I said, okay, so what I should have is no agenda. And here's what I should say to myself before I talk to people. This business is not for everybody. And when I talk to this person, my job's only to give them a choice where they can learn more about the business or not. That's up to them. It's their life. You know, it's not for everybody. What's interesting is people pick up those vibes also. So if we go with no agenda, they go, whoa, I don't have to be sales resistant. Remember, if we say it's for everybody, they're going to put up sales resistance. But if we say it's not for everybody, where they're thinking, well, you're not trying to sell me. Matter of fact, if I'm going to get any benefit, I'm going to have to reach out and see if it's something I can use. So once I took that attitude, it's not for everybody. I'll give them a chance to change their life or not. And yeah, it's their life. All of a sudden, it was easier to talk to my relatives, my friends, you know, important strangers. Everything changed. And I never felt bad because I said, my job is only to give them an opportunity. My job is not to convince them to change their life. That's up to them. My job is to only make that option open for them. So if we look at our business as saying, all right, all we do is give people an option to keep where they are or to change. Something else pretty cool happens. We go, wow, so all I have to do is, if I'm really lazy, just find people who are wanting to change. Where can I find those people? You know, employees who hate their job or long commutes or minimum wage clerks at a mall. They don't want to be minimum wage all their life. You say, well, I talk to them, they don't want to change. Well, okay, we've done our job. We give them an opportunity to change, right? That's it. So when you look for people who want to change, you kind of shortcut a lot. It's another cool skill. We will get more skills as we go along. But all we're doing is asking people if they want to change. We'll have a conversation. If they don't want to change, that's fine. Some people have really hardcore beliefs, and it's hard for them to change. When I grew up, there's a thing called Santa Claus. And when I was 6 years old and somebody said, your belief in Santa Claus has some flaws, I didn't want to change. So don't be upset with people. Some people believe that Manchester United is the best football team ever. You know, let them keep the belief. Your job is to say, hey, I just give you this option, your life. I'm stepping back. I've done my job. We can still be friends. But if you want to change your belief about that, you know, we can chat. If not, it's okay. And then you can chat and they say, well, you know, thanks, but just not for me. I says, great. You know, it's not for everybody. I mean, just look around. There's 7.8 billion people who probably haven't joined network marketing yet. So it's not for everybody. That'd be okay. So let's take the next question.
Ross, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was going to say what Tom's already covered actually, but I've been following Tom for more years than I can care to mention because I am that old. But he's been excellent because what he does is he always gets the prospect to give permission to provide a possible solution to a problem that they may have. And even though that sounds very fundamental, and he says it in such a lovely, clear, down-to-earth way, so many people just don't get that. They just start coming out with their business before getting permission, and that's what doesn't make it work half as well as it does when you get their permission. Because I will listen then. So thank you. Great stuff, Tom.
Thank you. And I totally agree. If you like permission, there's a section in the book about icebreakers that shows you how to do it. It's just too easy. So yeah, let's have fun. Who else has a question?
Okay, yeah. Next one is Dina.
Hi, I'm from Philippines. I'm happy to be here. This is my first time. So I love what you say that Tom is addictive learning. Yeah, this is important to all of us. And being mature choice. This is the first time what I heard. I attended every Zoom meeting, but this is what I love to hear, the addicted learning and mature choice. This is very important to build the business, mature choice. And you know, I love the book, the Happy Network Marketer. This is very for me is this from starting. If you starting the networking, this is amazing book that you need to learn and you need to read. The networking marketer. That is Tom and Derek. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Salamat from the Philippines. And if people don't know, the Philippines has 100 million people, and there's a lot of network marketers, people that, you
Yeah,
know, check it out
absolutely.
all the time. So while the book is free for the next month till August 31, share it with a bunch of networkers there, or people that, this is not a secret. A lot of people join and quit and change companies in the Philippines all the time. All the time. So at least they can learn some skills to be better. It's something good to share with them. And they'll give you some, what do you say, social deposit. People appreciate that you took the time to try to help them. And it costs nothing. So share the link with them and
Yes, sir.
see what they say when they try to learn it. Or they might say this. Remember, all we do is give options. They might say, well, it's too hard to download. I don't like, I don't think I could read it on my phone because I'm too busy with TikTok. And whatever, it's fine. We just give them the choice. And if you've never been to the Philippines, everybody there has a phone attached permanently to their hand. It's amazing. So it's nice they can download it to their phone and just read it right there. So let's do the next question.
Okay, over to Graham.
Well, good morning, everybody. Morning, Tom. Thank you very much.
Morning.
I'm just wondering how you talk to people and family, friends about a new business like this, as if with residual income, who you brought into another business that wasn't successful.
Okay. In other words, I'm sure that you and I are not the only person that has baggage. Everybody in our families and friends probably has a few failures in their life, like a whole lot, like their life is strung with them. And some want to move forward, and some give up their hands and say, I'm willing to accept my fate, and I'll do this. I'll continue commuting, working hard, and until I can retire a year before I die. And that's their choice. So I just let them know there's a choice. And they say, well, the thing you did before didn't work out. And you say, yeah. And I've had some bad restaurant meals, some bad relationships, cars that broke down. Yeah. My life is just one problem disaster after another, but I keep moving forward because I'm not willing to give up and die yet. What about you? Mm-hmm. And they say, well, I had a car, I bought the wrong style car, and yeah, I've had a few bad relationships, and yeah, I had a couple of bad meals at a restaurant, and I did give up restaurants. And so then we have given them a choice to continue the conversation or not. Mm-hmm. And so they say, man, I don't ever want to try anything more. I'm just sitting here waiting to die. You say, got it. And say, as long as you're sitting there, do you know about TikTok? That's a good thing to look at, to pass the time before you die or something. It's up to them. But yeah, as soon as somebody says, well, you tried something and it didn't work, we mention a whole bunch of failures that we've had that they may have had also, but we don't accuse them of that. Because we say, well, I had bad relationships. They're going to go, maybe me too. Bad meals. Yeah, maybe I probably cooked a couple bad meals. Yeah, that's happened. And just mention a few bad things that happened to us, but we decided to keep going and not give up on life. And there's mirror neurons in their brain that says, "Oh, I'm feeling exactly what you feel right now." So that kind of disables it. And if they have a belief that nuts are going to work for them, this is a good excuse for them to tell us, so it helps them save face. So they're not saying, "I just can't do it anymore." It just helps them save face. And that's okay. We can accept that. Nobody's going to say, "I'm a full-time loser. Don't even try with me." It's kind of embarrassing to say. So they'll make up excuses like, I don't know, I got to talk to the dogs, or I got to research the internet or something. They'll make up stuff to help them save face. And that's good, because nobody wants to be embarrassed in front of other people, just social skills that I didn't know about when I started. So just do that. Mention a whole list of failures, create your own list, and just kind of make sure that a bunch of those they might have had that also. And that way they can't criticize somebody for trying and moving on. Good question.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions while Tom's here? Anyone at all? Anything at all that's a concern, or you want to do better or learn how to do? Angela, over to you.
What happened? Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. I just want to ask, just want to clear. I asked about the greenbacks. The greenbacks. The greenback is that for the non-hyperburst.
Okay.
Yeah, Angela,
I don't know that one.
Tom doesn't know. Angela, you'll have to speak to your upline probably. I think probably the best person to speak to is Nicholas, or even Myrna, who's in the same team.
Okay. Because the team Philippines is not clear to them, because I hear this is if you have a yellow box, you need to get the green box. But I heard before to Pinaki, this is for the only no hyperburst.
Yeah,
If you know hyperburst, yeah.
I would speak to your upline about that, definitely.
Okay. Sorry, thank you.
That's all right. Anybody else? Any questions about helping them get more prospects or learning conversations and all those things? We will be doing more of this, by the way, guys. So we'll be in touch in terms of how we'll be doing that over the next few weeks.
I know. If there's no more questions, just remember, let's practice disagreement principle with people this week. Wouldn't that be fun? Say, that's wonderful, that's great, and have them disagree. And you'll see how easy Derek gets people to have people say, "I got a problem, let's talk." It's so easy. And these are just simple little skills that they don't teach us in school. Do that and start your if you haven't, start a personal development routine of learning. Like I say, this book you don't even have to go to the library. You can read it on your phone or computer, and it's free. So it doesn't cost much to get started. We every step we take, we're going to be ahead of so many more people who don't even take a step. So back to you, Derek.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. And Tom hopefully keeps the schedule if we can. Probably he's a very busy person, but every last Saturday of the month we're having him with us, and we'll keep that as long as we can. So it's a continuous thing. Anthony, you want to ask me?
Yeah, just one quick question, Tom. How do you, I would say some people are sure that they're very successful in what they do, but they may benefit from what we have to offer them. And, they always talk about their success and everything else. How would you introduce this to somebody who says that I've got everything I need, but I know that this could add value to them as well?
Okay, there is a specific script that we can learn. Amazing. You know, for every problem we think we have that we can't solve here, guess what? Somebody's already figured it out. So I learned this script maybe 8, 9 years ago. I was on a cruise, and one of the people who came with us on the cruise mentioned the script, and it was amazing. So let me give you the short version, because we don't have time for the long story. But the short version is, we're going to say, I am perfectly comfortable with your decision to take a look at my business or not. Now, does that let them off the hook? Yeah. But we still have that twinge. Well, how do I approach them? Or, you know, I feel kind of icky doing this. So the second part of the sentence really nails it. So here it is. I'm perfectly comfortable with your decision if you want to look at the business or not. But I was uncomfortable not letting you know I had a new business and having you think that I didn't care. You say, whoa, that gives me an excuse to talk to everybody on my chicken list, everybody I'm afraid to talk to. So I was perfectly, I'm perfectly comfortable if you want to look at the business or not. But I was uncomfortable, not giving you a chance and having you think that I didn't care. And they're going to feel pretty good. They're going to say, so Big Al, yeah, I'm not interested at all, but thanks for thinking of me. That's the worst that can happen. So yeah, I had that problem too. So that's why I had to learn, and that's what happened. And if any of you enjoy taking cruises in December, 4 to 11, a bunch of us networkers, small groups get together. We're going to go on a cruise and spend the time at sea, learning cool things to say and do, and have all our meals and travel and stuff together. Join the cruise. You can email Derek or ask if you want to go on the cruise. That's up to you. I'm perfectly comfortable if you don't want to go on the cruise or not. I was just uncomfortable not letting you know that you had a chance. How easy is this?
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, anyone else before we close up? We're just past the hour, so I think we've covered a lot today, and guys, read the book. I started reading it and I was addicted to it, so I'm going to finish it today. It's got a lot of very helpful tips in there, really helpful, and you need to read it several times, I think, because to master it, you need to actually be almost repetitively doing things, because you pick up different things as you read through it. And different things apply at different times in your life. You'll find that maybe in a few weeks' time, a few months' time, when you've got a whole load of distributors or people, in your team, you want to share with them, and different things will be appropriate then. I think that's with any book. If you go back to books like even How to Win Friends and Influence People, I read it differently now to when I first read it years and years and years ago. So the value changes in books according to where you are at the time, and you are where you are because of all the decisions you've made so far. So let's improve that by learning more, and that's what it's all about: learning more skills, like Tom's taught us, and using it and applying it. I think that's probably the key word there: applying it. I used to read, like Tom said, back in the 90s. I used to read and read and read, but I didn't apply anything. And of course, when you read and learn, it doesn't work. You've got to apply it. And it took me a long time. I just didn't arrive where I am today. I actually spent a long time mastering conversation. And, I've been in the industry of about 30 odd years now, so it's taken a very long time. But I'm not saying you have to take that long. Because now we've got lots of shortcuts and ways of doing so. Yeah, thanks, Tom. I'll give you the last word.
Okay, well, I'll see some of you on the cruise, but I'll see most of you next Saturday. And let's go and test this week, trying a little bit of skill, just practicing on our training wheels on our bicycle, and see how we feel if we can just test it safely. Let's give it a try. Good luck reading.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again and working with you. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much, and we'll catch up soon. So I'll put messages in the groups as regards trainings and things that are happening. So thank you very much, everyone, and good day. Let me just unmute everyone so you can actually say goodbye, and I'll also finish the recording.